This is sort of like smart home for lumberjacks. That's unusual. Oh, it's all happening now. Nicely done. Welcome back, Mark here. Hey, it's been a while since I made a video for YouTube here at Bacon Ranch. Sort of went down the rabbit hole for the last, 6 weeks I think. Got involved with home automation called Home Assistant, and man, I'm pretty happy with the system. Sure, a lot to learn. Just a deluge of information, and what ends up happening with that is you get a lot of projects going and you have to stop on one, but then there's another part that's not working, and then all of a sudden everything comes together. Home Assistant is great. So far I've been able to get rid of my SmartThings hub, and one of the good things about it, Home Assistant, is that it's always updated, but that's also one of the bad things about it. When I get stuck on something, I'll do a search, Google search or on YouTube, and almost all the information I find is a year old. And in the Home Assistant world, things can change over 2 weeks. What you did 2 weeks ago doesn't apply to what works now because it's always changing. So that's my impression. Is, like I say, everything I find seems to be a year old and seems to be outdated. So like the documentation, is not updated, and I guess that's not realistic that it could be updated because it is all open source. But you know what? If they were charging for the system, I would pay considerably for it if everything worked well. That's not accounting for the 2 weeks of time I put into it. But I do have SmartThings hub, 2 Wink hubs. I have 2 Philip Hughes hubs. So many different consumer electronic smart devices, and to get almost everything working into one system is great. But today's video is really about a little project I have with the Budweiser goal light. These lights, if you're not familiar, they go off over Wi-Fi when your team scores a goal, hockey team. And so, like, I used to live in Manitoba, I live in Ontario now. So when I was in Manitoba, I had cable TV, and I found the synchronization was pretty good between the goals and the light. Sometimes the light would go off before a goal scored, like seconds before, so you'd be like, okay, pay attention now. So I didn't mind that too much. But I don't have cable here in Ontario. I just stream the service, and it's not really synchronized very well. Sometimes the goal light goes off, like 30 seconds before. So since I started with the goal lights a few years now, I've wanted to hack the system, either get the Wi-Fi signal or something like that, and come to the realization that that's not possible. It's an encrypted Wi-Fi signal on what they call an electric imp card. So I looked for other solutions, and there are quite a few. That's actually how I ended up getting a SmartThings hub, is just for one application, and that was called Sports Notifications. I'll show some screenshots from that right away. That was a good app. I've been using it for about a year, and again, it wasn't synchronized perfectly with everything. It was usually later than the goal scored on the stream. Once in a blue moon, it would actually be right on time. Everything would work right on time. But then I got involved with the Home Assistant and looked at other ways. There's another subscription service called Goal Feed through Home Assistant, but it's $2 or $3 a month. It's actually a guy from Winnipeg that runs that. And I was looking into that, but I just don't like the idea of paying every month for it. I would rather pay one-time upfront fee, and be done with it. But so I looked into that and didn't do it. And then I found something called the NHL API for Home Assistant, and with a lot of help from one person on, I think it was on Reddit, I got it all working. And that works a lot like sports notifications. It's all software in Home Assistant, and scripts and automations. And yeah, pretty happy with that. Again, it's not completely synchronized with my Budweiser Gold Light or the actual streaming service. Then I got the idea of hardwiring some kind of Wi-Fi switch into the Budweiser Gold Light. So I looked at different wireless protocols, Z-Wave, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I thought maybe if I could get like a push button switch. And I got this idea because, again, going back to Home Assistant, got me involved with these Sonoff products. And my first experience with that was to get one of the Sonoff products onto my garage door. And I hardwired the garage door opener to use the Sonoff product. And now I have the ability to open my garage doors with Google Assistant through voice, something that wasn't available before. So because of my experience with that, I thought, well, I'll take one of these Gold Lights apart, right? And see if I can hardwire a switch in there. I thought if I cut the speaker wires off and use the current from the speaker wires to activate a Wi-Fi switch, that would work. So I did get one of the Smart Things sensors and tried that without success. And then I got a Wemos D1 Mini, and I actually had this working yesterday for I think about half an hour, and ended up burning the board out. It's dead now. So I think the problem there was there's just too much current coming through the speaker wires. So I gotta look at that a little bit better, but the half hour it was working, it was pretty much synchronized with the Budweiser Gold Light, which is probably the best I'm gonna get because, like I say, I stream my hockey games, so the chances of it being right on time with the goals being scored are not very good. So I have some video to show of all the lights I have going off when a goal is scored, including the Budweiser Gold Lights. I have a couple of DMX stage lights and some emergency LED lights that are usually used in a vehicle for a 12-volt system. I put them onto a DC converter downstepper and plugged it into the wall. It works good. So I am going to try the D1 Wemos Mini hardwire again. If anybody has any tips on that, I don't know if I need a resistor. I'm going to have to learn some of that onto the system, or some way of lowering the current, or using another signal besides the speaker wire current. Although I don't know that was a problem, I might have had the switching set up wrong on the D1 Mini, or I'm not that good at soldering. I just soldered the bare wire onto the board and it looked pretty good, but you know, maybe I was touching another contact or shorted something out, although I think probably the fault is in the current. It's all early.
also snaps a 5-game pointless streak and more importantly gives the Jets the 1-0 lead. Brace yourself. His first power play goal in 30 games.
And then the lights go back to normal. So we got LED strip behind the TV. 3 Budweiser goal lights there. An LED strip on the mantle. Right there. Stage light there. The emergency light there is usually for a vehicle. And then my home assistant system lights up too. Each logo lights up for each particular light. And I have another Budweiser goal light here that I'm taking apart, because even though the system works pretty well, I have an improvement to make. Usually the Budweiser goal lights go off first because I'm streaming from NHL Center Ice. It's not a cable feed. So my feed's usually delayed, and then Budweiser goal lights go first, and then my custom lights go after. But today my custom lights went first almost as soon as they scored, and then the Budweiser went later. So what I'm gonna do to make it more consistently better is to hardwire a switch into the speaker wire there, a Wi-Fi switch, and that will enable an automation to have all the lights go off with the Budweiser goal lights, which usually go first. Plus, on the home assistant system, I can trigger everything on my own. It gets set for about 20 seconds.
Busting up through the middle is Garland. Garland being pressured there by Sherratt, puts on the brakes. Garland twisting, trying to find some open ice. Sends it back to the line. Gołagowski for Jalmerson.
And the lights go back.
Back in behind the net for Derek Stepan. In from the line is Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and it ends up on the stick of Jalmerson. Trying to get it down low. Tied up at the side there with Losser. Phoenix draft pick.
So I got 2 automations for home and away. Automation to turn off the goal lights, and an automation to reset my hue lights from red to white. Boolean, and 4 scripts. Here's my sports page on Home Assistant. I have it so these got toggle action on it, and when a goal is scored, different lights light up, different logos. I think these ones are not working right now. But yeah. And then this is part of the NHL appy, where it shows the home team and away team. That's used in the script, and updates it with the score. That's part of the script and the automation. So here's the other reason I haven't made a video recently. Man, we've had a lot of snow. Like, we love going for walks on the trails, and you know, I was doing pretty good keeping up on the snow, but we've just had so much snow that we can't use the trails anymore. I don't have a snow blower. I did push a trail just around the yard here, but I didn't push a trail through the woods there. Everything's just so covered in ice and slippery, and then, you know, when I get into the woods there, like I say, the snow's too deep. It's over 2 feet deep. Could take up snowshoeing. Maybe we'll look at that next year. But the old barn. Yeah, sure, ice. Yeah, so I like being active and everything, but like I say, I just couldn't keep up with the snow. It was enough just cleaning the driveway and the parking lots and pushing paths to where we need to go. I think maybe next year I'll go back to getting a snowblower, and then I can just go down the trail with the snowblower. At least we can walk around the woods in the wintertime. Kinda sucks having to sit inside every day, all day. Ooh, it's slippery. Cat likes it. Winter. Here's the dog chasing squirrels. Any luck? You're too old and fat. Sushi, give it up. You only got that one lame squirrel at one time. Yeah, so that's that. Let's get back inside. That was a nice little intermission. Get back inside and show you the rabbit hole I've been down for, I think, almost 2 months now that I think of it. So here is part of my smart home center. Switch there, 2 Philips Hue hubs. Like, I got about 100 Philips Hue bulbs and switches, and I wish I didn't invest all the money in them now that I have Home Assistant. And one thing I never liked about these lights, as far as the sports notification goes, is that they don't flash. They blink very slowly and not in a synchronized manner. Really slow blinking system on the Philips Hue lights for that purpose. There's my Raspberry Pi that I run Home Assistant on with the Z-Wave stick I just got yesterday. There is my Wink hub, my router provided by the ISP. They really messed me around the other day. Went and changed the GUI and ended up losing all my device aliases and a list of static IPs. They decided, customers don't need their list of static IPs anymore. And the worst thing about it is they didn't tell me they were changing the GUI. I got a couple of hard drives for backup. And there's my old Smart Things hub. Just garage sale that or sell on Kijiji. Google Homes. Got lots of those. So let's take a look at these things. Special thanks to Dr. Z's for his videos. He helped me out a lot, and he has replied to me by email. He seems interested in this project. I want to give a special shout out to somebody on Reddit. I can't log in right now. The service is down. Here's the Smart Things NHL or Sports Notifications app. You can search Sports Notifications Smart Things and you'll get to this page. I think his name is Eric Lutman. Good app. Here's the other one I mentioned, Goalfeed. A guy in Winnipeg runs this one. I think his last name is Midwinter. And if you search Goalfeed Home Assistant, you'll come up with that. Like I say, this is for Philips Hue lights, and I really don't like the way those lights work. Once you see the way mine works, be much better. Here's what I showed you already. This is my sports page on Home Assistant. I just rearranged this so it's more symmetrical and evenly balanced. My video where I show the goals being scored, you'll see a different layout. But I got a way to test it here through my automations. You can trigger an automation and everything will go off. And it shows the different scripts, automations, and the Boolean. I got miscellaneous stuff I don't have a place for. Yeah, I'm just learning this system. I want to get this all better organized and a little bit nicer interface, but haven't gotten too involved in Lovelace yet because they are still working on it and updating it constantly. So It's getting there though. As you can see, I've spent a lot of time on this part. And off topic again, but here's the Sonoff 4-channel Pro, where I hardwired my gate opener and garage door opener into it. It works well. I did have, what do you see? Can we see that there on top? That's called a Go control for it's for the older door openers like this one is, and that worked well. It's Z-Wave. Worked well, except there's still a Wink hub and it was awfully slow. And I did lose my Z-Wave connection and didn't bother rejigging it up. But I don't need that device anymore, so I'll take that away. Like I say, it's going to be nice to get rid of all these extra devices and have one system all integrated, working through that little thing right there. And you can see here now that it's afternoon. It's updated to today's game, showing the Nashville Predators as the away team and my Winnipeg Jets as the home team. Very nice. Guy on Reddit helped me a lot with the NHL appy is this gentleman here, Alex. Thank you very much. He replied to every comment, every question I had about it, and basically just had to cut and paste his code and tweak it and made some changes to it. Alex, if you're watching, I did change it so automation, when the hue lights go red, I don't have them blinking. I just have them go solid red because all my other lights blink. And then all the hue lights, after they're done and the script runs, they return to their last state. So that's kind of cool. I guess that's about it. The purpose of the video is just to show you what I've been up to. Why I haven't been around as much lately. But yeah, I wanted to show my smart home devices a little bit and my project on the goal lights. I wanted to show that just in case anybody has some tips. I need some help to get that working like I want it to. Although the NHL app is really good, still not happy with the delay. I really want everything working with the Budweiser goal light. It's got to be a way to hardwire hack that system. So if you're watching this, you got some comments, leave them below, please. If you like what I see, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. As my friend Columbo used to say, just one more thing. Check this out. Okay, Google, turn off the sun.
Go gently into that good night, my sweet, sweet lord.
Oh, man. So yeah, this is where the magic happens. This is like Monster Garage for DIY electronics. Got this on Amazon, or no, eBay. Great to have. Nice LED light on it. Strong magnifying glass, lots of octopus arms there. There's the goal light I'm hacking.